It's only noon and already you're exhausted. You're trying to get lunch ready for your child who is epileptic. You've just watched your child have their 20-second seizure for the day and it's breaking you apart inside. You try to be strong for your child, but you don't know what to do. The pills aren't working and now your child is addicted to them and they are only 4 years old. 43 seizures a day, 300 seizures a week, and over 20 types of different daily meds. It's been this way since your child was 6 months old and has been diagnosed with a rare form of epilepsy called Dravet syndrome, consisting of daily grand mal seizures. You find out through different support groups and research for the parents of children with this rare disease that CBD oil, a derivative from cannabis, has been proven to reduce and oftentimes altogether stop these seizures. The only thing is it's not legal to buy in your state. What do you do? How far does your love for your child go? And where does the line get drawn? CBD oil is a highly controversial topic right now, and I'm going to explain to you the reasons why it is beneficial and the necessary actions needed to make CBD oil legal here in Idaho. People who have never heard of CBD oil learn that it is from the cannabis plant and immediately hear marijuana, something that will get you high. They don't know that CBD stands for cannabis oil, which is a non-psychoactive form from cannabis. People fear the unknown. It's how we are wired to be, and that's what happens when we are uneducated. But if you open your mind to different possibilities of truth and proof, you will be amazed at what you will see. And like people who do know about CBD oil and know the great benefits of this non-psychoactive form of cannabis, know that it does not contain the THC factor that regular recreational marijuana has, which means it absolutely cannot get you high. You can smoke it, eat it, inject it, etc., and it would have the same effect as going out into your backyard and grabbing a handful of grass. Nothing will happen. I believe hemp and cannabis have great multi-uses among many diverse forms, and in the long run be the better choice as a medicine than that of a damaging pill from a pharmaceutical company, which oftentimes leads to greater harm and more expense. After recently learning about the history of CBD oil, its effects, non-effects, and benefits, I have come to feel very strongly on spreading the truth about the medical abilities that have been scientifically proven in this natural medicine. I'm going to talk to you about the problems of not having legal access, why CBD oil should be legalized, and why it needs to be easily accessible. All across the world, people are arguing and fighting for what they believe to be right and fair. Local families here in Idaho have been pushing for a new bill to be passed that would allow CBD oil to be legal to buy. Legally buying this oil would allow for parents of these children to safely seek treatment without actively breaking the law and purchasing from a state where it is legal. However, according to KTVB News Channel 7, Governor Butch Otter vetoed the bill, stating there are too many questions and problems, too few answers and solutions to let the bill become the law. This was devastating for parents. To them, it's like telling a diabetic child you can't have insulin. The diabetic child needs it, the medicine, or they will die. These children who are seizing 50 to 100 times a day need this medicine as well. Where do you draw the line as a parent? Do we watch our child suffer, or do we commit the crime necessary for your child's life? How do you possibly answer this question? Ever since your child was less than a year old, helpless and learning what this new life is, has been in more spasmodic episodes than calm, cohesive thought. In fact, your child can't even tell you they love you because they haven't yet learned, and they just had their 5th birthday. This is very real for parent Jason David, the father of Jaden, who is 4 years old, and is diagnosed with Dravet syndrome. He witnessed his son's first grand mal seizure that lasted an hour long on Christmas morning when he was just 6 months old. Since then, Jaden has been on 11 different types of medicines and was still having seizures on an everyday basis. But since the CBD oil, they have stopped completely. This is a picture of a young boy with Dravet syndrome taking CBD oil oral injections. Now that I have talked to you about the problems of not having access, I am now going to talk to you about why it should be legal. Parents with Dravet syndrome are experimenting with high CBD, low THC oil that has been showing to work on reducing, if not completely eradicating, the seizures altogether. This allows the child to save their own life from harmful effects of daily prescription drugs that are hard on the body, the trauma experienced with each seizure, and also the ability to be mentally cognitive. According to CanLab states that CBD has sedative effects, but also relieves convulsions, inflammation, anxiety, nausea, and is a cancer fighter. That means the same oil also helps aid in the treatment of anxiety, MS, and cancer patients. For example, Charlotte Figge, a 5-year-old girl who suffers from continual epileptic seizures, was broadcasted on CNN explaining the troubles and turmoil her and her family were experiencing on a daily basis. They heard about CBD oil helping in the case of seizures, and since her first time using the high CBD oil, her life has dramatically changed. Because of Charlotte's widespread story, the Stanley family, local Colorado cannabis growers, reached out to help create a strain of marijuana that was extremely low in THC and high in CBD. They have since named the strain Charlotte's Web. Now that I have talked to you about why we should legalize it, I'm now going to talk to you about why it should be easily accessible. This is a picture of what CBD oil looks like in capsule form and oral form. Legalizing the use of CBD oil for medical purposes here in Idaho is essential for the health of many Americans, including the parents of children who have rare diseases such as Dravet syndrome. According to celebstoner.com, CBD oil has now been legalized in 15 different states, including Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and Utah, who was actually the first state to recognize the need for legalization of CBD. Bringing about awareness of what CBD oil's functions are is critical to the well-being of many individuals in our community. CBD oil is a non-psychoactive form of marijuana, not to be confused with THC, the part of the plant that gets you high. It has the properties of naturally relieving inflammation, seizures, anxiety, and nausea. As a parent watching your child go in and out of seizures throughout the day and into the night, where does the boundary of creating a criminal act and doing what is best for your child lie? To prevent parents from having to make such a choice, we need to push for legalization here in Idaho so that their child has a chance at what a normal life looks like. No child should be left behind. Again, CBD oil is a highly controversial topic right now, and I've just explained to you the reasons why it is beneficial and the necessary actions needed to make CBD oil legal here. We covered the problems of not having legal access, why it should be legalized, and why it needs to be easily accessible. A parent should never have to be put in a life or death situation regarding their child. We need to eliminate this boundary. I have more information on the counter, along with a petition I urge you to consider signing to help pass this bill in Idaho. Don't make the parents choose for a life they're not willing to lose.